Last week we celebrated St. Patty's Day making a no-bake cheesecake. This week we're going to continue with the same theme and we're going to make some Irish mashed potatoes, otherwise known as Colcannon. Hit that subscribe button and let's get started here on Cook! Don't be lazy! Set your stove on high because we want to get a pot of boiling water going. Next thing you want to do is take a piece of cabbage and chop it up. Just like that. You know, the center part is usually the hardest. I guess they say you can core it out, whatever that means, I don't know. But what I like to do is I just like to take the center part and I actually take that and toss it into garbage. Take your cabbage, get it in that pot. For how long? Roughly 10 minutes from this point, because the water ain't going to take too long for it to come to a boil. So start timing it now, roughly 10 minutes. So we've got 10 minutes to work on our next step. Let's get to that. Get another pan, set it on medium high, and we're going to cook, if I can get it out of there, there we go. We're going to cook half a packet of bacon. While this one's cooking, let's move on to the next step. Peel a potato. How many? Depends how much mashed potatoes you want to make. You're going to quarter it. I've done about 4 potatoes, I think. Let's move on to the next step. Turn your stove off for a second regarding the cabbage. And get yourself something so you can fish out the cabbage. We're going to keep this water here, so we don't want to drain it. So fish out your cabbage. Just like that. So the next step is we got to get these potatoes in the water. Now the reason we quartered them is so that we can cut cook time down in half. You can put whole potatoes in there if you want in the water, but your cook time's going to vary and increase. So smaller pieces, quicker cook time. Let's carefully put these into this hot water. Remember, the water is still hot from the cabbage. Now I'm going to cheat and use this little container to help me slowly put it down. Don't forget to turn your stove back on because we need this boiling. We got to make mashed potatoes. So turn on your stove. Speaking of stove, our bacon should be done, so let's work on our bacon. Sure enough, the bacon looks good. Scoop your bacon out. So bacon is done, cabbage is done. The only thing we've got left is waiting for these potatoes to finish boiling. Roughly 15-20 minutes due to the size that we cut them into. So what I'm going to do in about 15-20 minutes, I'm going to stick a knife in it. If they're soft, potatoes are done, we'll move on to the next step. Once your potatoes are soft enough to pierce with a fork or a knife, drain it. Put them back in your pot. Alright, next step. We gotta flavor this. Real butter. I'm using half a stick. Milk. And smash. Depending on how creamy you want your potatoes, you're going to decrease the milk or increase the milk. I almost forgot one step. Let's backtrack a little bit. We got to cut up, do a rough cutting on your cabbage. Just a rough cut. And get that into your mashed potatoes. Same thing with our bacon. Do a rough cut on it. Gotta have some bacon. Get this into your mashed potatoes, but save some as a garnishment for the top of your potatoes. Get that mixed in. Woo, looking good. And there's just one last thing left to do. Time to plate up. Now don't forget to salt and pepper it. I almost made that mistake, but thankfully I caught on in time. Salt it, pepper it, serve it. Now this Irish mashed potato, also known as a Colcannon, I've already made this before. I can guarantee you this tastes really good. So I'm going to get to digging into this, and I'll see you guys next week here on Cook! Don't be lazy!